So, welcome to JimBob's Music Massacre, featuring
Jim
and Bob.
That was seamless. Very nice.
JimBob's Music Massacre.
So, JimBob's Music Massacre is a weekly foray into song. We're going to take well-known popular songs and delve in and dissect and critique, if you will. Critique songs.
In what way is it?
Lyrically.
Lyrically.
Yeah.
It's lyrics that jar with us, that don't make sense,
Exactly.
that are downright ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Each week we'll have a guest musician and to play the songs for us. And this week we're joined by
Callum.
McIntyre.
Great guy. Great guy.
You didn't know his surname, that's why you left it open. You couldn't remember it, could you?
I love that you finished each other's sentences. I think, is this going to be something that
Well, Callum, are we not finishing each other's?
Sentences.
Jim, you've got
I think you meant...
Oh, right.
It's
so... I don't even think...
I just have lots of rapport with people. We're always, saying the same thing at the end of the
sentences.
See, I forgot it was Callum already.
It's happened already. It's just you, isn't it?
Synergy.
So tell us a bit about Callum.
Callum's first and foremost is an actor, but a very talented singer-songwriter, excellent pianist. Pianist. And yeah, I think that because he writes excellent lyrics, he's totally within his rights to have an opinion and judge and rip the shit out of other people's lyrics.
Thank you so much.
Well, where do we fit in with that? Do we have the right?
Well, we can. Well, we'll just make sure legally everything he says is all right, and then sip beer while we do it.
I've listened to a lot of songs. I think that makes me.
That qualifies you. Well, you've written some songs.
Yeah, I wrote 2 songs that were performed. Actually, I wrote "Hand in Mine." Great song.
Emotional.
Barnsley to Berlin.
Oh, a classic. And obviously Barnsley to Berlin is very relatable because it's a journey a lot of people do very regularly.
It's that standard commute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Barnsley has pretty much become a little commuter town for Berlin.
Yeah, it has become a computer town.
I used to do that trip maybe, I don't know, twice a month.
Oh,
yeah.
Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Not much of a commute, was it?
What, 6 hours door to door?
Twice a month. Well, the average London commute probably does, 10 times that.
And it's probably cheaper to do.
Yeah, it's probably cheaper than travelling.
All right, I had a very easy commute from Barnsley to Berlin. I don't know why I even brought it up. I'm a very privileged person.
You are.
And then
anyway, we digress.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
So let's get into the show proper.
What's the first song, Bob?
The first song that I'd like to dissect today is by a singer-songwriter called Elton John.
Oh,
you guys heard of Elton John?
Oh, yeah.
I am. Who is he?
Formerly known as Reg Dwight, I believe.
Reg Dwight.
Classic Reg.
Oh, Reg. Yeah, cool. Yeah. I know Reg.
I know Jim doesn't like stage names. So, yeah, it's Elton John Rocketman, which was a song written in 1972. And a little fact about it is it got to number 242 of the 500 greatest songs, according to Rolling Stone magazine.
Very credible position.
Although it's worth noting that obviously this is a lyric sort of dissection, and he didn't write the lyrics.
Whoa, what? Hold the phone.
Yeah.
Who did? You.
Bernie Taupin famously writes Elton John's lyrics, and so any criticism should be...
Yeah. This isn't Elton. We're not saying Elton, your music.
Yeah, well done.
Chords are great. Piano's lovely. Performance.
If you sing it and then put it out there, I think you've got to take some responsibility for it. I mean,
you're putting your name to it.
I've written the lyrics to a number of songs, and the person who sang them should be the one that gets all the criticism for it, in my opinion.
Did you sing some of his songs, Jim?
Me? No. I may have done. 1, 2. Who knows?
Yeah.
I can't even remember it. So
that lawsuit should have been directed at you and you alone.
It should, yes.
So yeah, this Rocketman was inspired by a short story. Did you know that?
Didn't know.
Guess what the name of the short story was?
Rocketman.
Yeah. And it has echoes of Space Oddity by David Bowie. So I think without further ado, we should probably listen to the bit of the song that's...
Callum McIntyre.
Sure.
Let's do it.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man, burning out his fuse up here alone. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids.
That's totally true, yeah.
Fair enough.
In fact, it's cold as hell.
Well, hell is normally warm, isn't it?
And there's no one here to raise them.
Yeah, of course not.
If you did,
What? Wait a minute. Can you stop there a sec? Callum.
Thank you.
So, what Elton's trying to say to me is, I get this, Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids.
Fair play. Hasn't got much of an atmosphere.
No, in fact, it's cold as hell.
Famously not a cold place.
Hell famously not cold, but Mars cold, and it's a turn of phrase. I can accept that. All right, it's cold as hell. And there's no one there to raise them. There definitely isn't.
There isn't, no. I mean, it's void.
If you did.
Well, there may be some bacteria.
Yeah, but... I mean,
single-celled organisms, but you're not going to interest them in the raising of your children, are you?
No, but Elton said there's no one there to raise them. If you did. So
if you did what?
If you were there to raise them.
Oh. What?
So
if you did raise them,
yeah,
there's no one there to raise them.
But there is someone there to raise them, because I'm there to raise them.
If you did.
Yeah.
Right.
So what are you basically trying to say, Elton? You know, what am I? Am I a mirage? Do I not exist? You know?
Hang on, rewind. So what Elton's saying is...
Yeah.
Oh, so if we did
raise our kids on Mars, there'd be no one there to raise them.
Right, okay. So yeah.
Do you think the fact that obviously Bernie Taupin sends these lyrics to Elton John, do you think he ever really questions them? Or he just goes, that's great?
That could have been the day that Bernie Taupin just went, oh, I'm going to take the piss today. I'm just going to write any old shit and see if Elton does it. And Elton just didn't spot it.
Well, maybe, but I don't really like the way that that's going, to be honest, because I think he's trying to say to me that I'm not responsible enough to raise my own kids. It's like saying that I am nothing.
This has obviously struck a chord, hasn't it?
It has struck a big chord on me because
you'd be a great parent.
I would.
You'd be responsible.
In fact, I think if I was on Mars, I'd be a better parent because there's no else to do apart from raise your kids. It's like if I was on Mars raising my kids, that would be the best place for me to raise my kids because there's no else to do.
Yeah, and in which case, if you were there doing that, I could take my kids there because there is someone to raise them.
Exactly.
So...
It fails on a number of levels for me.
Okay.
Did you like the song before you heard that, and then you've got this sort of angst towards it now?
Yeah, it's one of those songs that heard it lots and lots of times, and then just you'd heard that lyric, but you'd not really registered it, and then you hear it again, and suddenly you start thinking about it, and then one night you wake up in the middle of the night, you're like, wait a minute, why would there be nobody there to raise my kids?
Elton,
if I was there,
aspersions about my ability
raising
as a parent.
my kids. As a theoretical parent.
Yeah, a theoretical parent, and that's just...
That's the worst. I mean, if I did have kids and he was having to go at my parenting skills, probably it would be well within his rights. But
because it would have been proven.
Because it's theoretical.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's an aspersion that he shouldn't be making.
Could it be if you did have kids?
It could be. It could be if you did have kids.
There's no one there to raise your kids if you had kids. Maybe that's
it. Maybe he's talking to
you.
All
right, solved. That's that bit solved. Brilliant.
We don't need to even include this in the series, do we?
No, we will be solving the general lyric enigmas of the 20th and 21st century.
And answering a lot of people's... There's a lot of people who are going to sleep better tonight as a result.
Yeah, they are. of this boring monologue that they're listening to. But then... So then the next bit that it goes on to is...
Should we get...
All right, can you do that bit, Callum?
Okay.
Let's have a look here.
And all the science I don't understand.
Fair enough.
It's just my job 5 days a week.
Is it though? I mean...
A rocket man. A rocket man.
So is it possible for your job as a rocket man to just be 5 days a week?
Well, as a man who's commuted from Barnsley to Berlin twice a month, perhaps commuting to Mars 5 days a week isn't such a long...
Well, that feels a lot. It feels a lot.
It does. For you, you'd be like, no way. I mean, Barnsley to Berlin is enough.
But for some guys like you who have to commute in London.
Yeah, exactly. Some of us are used to commuting. That, to be honest,
right.
Whether it's Putney to Finsbury Park or London to Mars, it's neither.
That's a bit of this that I didn't get. I didn't realise it was going to Mars and back every day. Yeah. I thought it was just going to Mars, and then while he was on this sort of like 18-month trip to Mars, it would only work 5 days a week.
Comes back
fast.
5. Do you think Buzz Aldrin, when they were doing the first moon landings, they were like, I will do, I'm really, really stoked to do this, but I will not work Sundays? Do you think he... Put that in my contract?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. You need a day off. It's not easy training to be a space pilot or a spaceman or a rocket
space cadet. You trained to be a space cadet for a while, didn't you, Jim?
I tried, but they wouldn't give me Sundays off, so
that's what that line makes me think. It's like, the famous, Houston, we have a problem, ground control trying to get in touch with Elton. It's like, This is ground control to Elton John.
Really,
Dwight, Reggie, Dwight.
Reggie Dwight. And then all they get is a message like, I'm sorry, Elton is only available between the hours of 9 to 5, Mondays to Fridays. Please call again during office opening hours.
Yeah.
And then they probably finally get through to him somehow. Like,
Well, they page him.
yeah, page him or something. He calls back, he's like, look, guys, this is not cool, man. This is my time.
It's stipulated on my contract that I'm not.
Yeah.
Guys, I've just had a fax through from you. Apparently there's an asteroid thing, but what have you talked about?
What?
Sundays are no-go, all right?
Elton?
Hello? In a lot of films now, they have like a really cool sub-bass wobble. That's what I would
Or
do.
we could do it like an explosion in space, which is famously silent. So 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah.
That was
They
realistic.
did
That was
they
realistic.
did that in New Star Wars when they went to hyperspace. It was
Oh, yeah.
just like a few seconds of silence.
Really good.
It was epic. You haven't seen it, so you wouldn't know, but Callum and I
I've not seen it.
Callum
I've seen
and
it
I
3
loved it.
times, so
Have you?
yeah, don't worry about it.
Legend, you're more of a fan than I am. Is that what we're saying?
It may well be what we're saying, yeah.
You guys truly
How I
are
feel about that.
Rocketmen.
If you've got a song that you'd like us to massacre, or you just want to tell us about some weird song lyrics, then get in touch. You can find us at JimBob'sMusicMassacre.com. We're on Twitter at JimBob'sMusic, and we're on Instagram and Facebook at JimBob'sMusicMassacre.
Tell us about misheard-oids, Bob. What are they?
Misheard-oids are one of the things when you're listening to a song and
You mishear it.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, why did you ask me if you knew the answer? Hold yourself together.
Nice.
Perfect.
Something else if
Amen. So what's the first misheard-oid?
So this was a misheard-oid between two of our future listeners and also my previous housemates, Candy and Charlotte. Okay, so I walked into the living room and Candy and Charlotte were there happily watching a bit of telly, and then a show came on. You may have heard of it, called Friends.
So
yeah.
just that's northern for television.
What is it?
Telly.
Yeah, never heard of it.
We just thought I'd clear it up.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So Friends came on, you know. Our show's a hit, it's shit, you watch it anyway. Friends.
Down, 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 down.
Yeah.
What is that?
I was just doing some banjo practice.
You're bored of me already. You're just like, all right, got a new riff.
Sorry, I
got a new riff.
thought you'd finished.
Yeah. So anyway, I walked in and Charlotte was singing. Your job's a joke. You broke. Your love life's be away.
What? Your love life's be away.
Yeah.
It's like Irish. Your love life's be away.
Well, yeah. She.
Oh, your job's choice. You'll be away. Like.
Who knows? So she'd been singing it. She was happy with it. It made sense to her. And
I bet you picked up on it, didn't you?
well, I didn't actually.
Oh.
Candy picked up on it, and Candy corrected her and said, "It's actually your job's a joke. You broke. Your love life's DOA.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dead on Arrival.
Dead on Arrival."
Well, weirdly, I've never even thought about what that lyric was, and I don't know what I've been singing, but I've only just got the DOA.
Were you
thing.
singing "Your love life's be away"?
The love life's be away.
It's-
I was the thing.
Have you and Charlotte been? Have you and Charlotte been hanging out together, watching Friends and singing the same
Maybe we
wrong
have.
lyric? Yeah. So anyway, it then turned out that Candy didn't know what DOA stood for.
Oh.
It could have meant anything. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she could have been singing. So I've got some ideas of what it.
Oh, have you prepared some what DOA could
No,
potentially
I've got some ideas that have just come into me right now.
Oh,
great.
wow, okay.
We don't
great.
prepare this
No, of course.
podcast, Jim. That would be
Absolutely.
weak.
It would be
Only a weak person would prepare
Yes.
content for
A podcast.
an audience. Only a weak person would respect their audience by preparing content for them
Very
to be
true.
entertained.
So what have you just spontaneously come up with? Yeah, go
So it could have been drained of awareness.
Oh, that's deep.
It could have been driving others away. It could have been dying of AIDS.
Oh God.
God.
Your love life's
Love's
dying of
life dying
AIDS.
of AIDS.
Yeah, it could have been.
Oh God.
Well,
It's impossible, you know.
yeah, I mean,
Well, wouldn't that be love's life's DOA-IDS?
dying of AIDS. Carry on.
IDS?
What does the IDS stand for?
AIDS.
Oh.
DOAIDS.
It would, yeah. So like an
Because AIDS in itself is,
acronym within an
autoimmune
acronym, like, you know, layers of acronyms
Yeah.
within themselves. It would be, but the point of an acronym is so you don't have to say the word or the thing that
right,
it
okay,
represents. But yeah, so it would just be your love life, DOA.
IDS. Anyway, sorry, go on.
It could be drastically over advertised. Could be. Denied of access.
Ooh.
Could be like this list, dull or awkward.
Well, I've got a misheard-oid.
Oh, yeah. Go on then. Can we have the jingle?
Oh yeah, that'd probably be different. Misheard-oid.
Gets better every time.
Fear in the heart
It
of man.
will. It will get better.
Men who
This is
get lyrics
from
wrong.
just a random somebody who tweeted this in. Gwen from London,
Okay.
who used to sing Salt and Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Great.
I took great pleasure in.
Did you ever correct her, or did you just let her keep singing it?
No,
The better thing would have been just to let her keep singing that one.
I couldn't. I literally couldn't help myself. I had to pounce on that, and I've been milking it ever since. And I will continue to milk it probably for time immemorial. So.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Gwen, on Twitter.
That's,
So there we go. Right. So
that was misheard-oids.
misheard-oids.
On with the show.
If you've got a misheard-oid, a mixed metaphoid, or a pedantoid, then please let us know. You can hit us up at Twitter, JimBob's Music, or on Facebook and Instagram at JimBob's Music Massacre. Or alternatively, come to our website at jimbobsmusicmassacre.com.
All right, this is your song, Jim.
This is my choice. Yeah.
So what we're
This
going
is-
to listen to
this is a
time?
classic.
What we're going to dissect?
We're going to dissect Superfunkycalifragisexy.
Well done for saying that.
Is that the song from?
That was first take, wasn't
Yeah.
it? First time.
Is that the song from Mary Poppins?
It's not. It's a song about Mary Poppins.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's not the song from Mary Poppins. You're thinking of Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. This is Superfunkycalifragisexy.
Right. I didn't.
It's easy for you
that
to
was
say.
Indistinguishable, those two words to me.
Yeah,
I thought you just said the same thing twice.
And so this is by Prince, or the artist formerly known as
The former artist, formerly known as
Prince Nassim Hamed
Ahmed,
the second.
the heavy,
Esquire.
the
Esquire.
middleweight champion of the world.
Yeah. So yeah, this is. I'm not the biggest Prince fan. I'm gonna put that out there right now. I know there's probably people like right now are hating me.
Oh yeah.
I saw Prince perform at the Hop Farm years ago.
Well, why were you taking up space? There's like loads of Prince fans who could have taken that ticket,
Well-
but no. Bloody Jim's outside at the back, taking up space, saying, "I'm not the biggest."
Writing notes.
Yeah, I'm not the
back,
biggest
yeah.
Prince fan, but I'll stand here judging.
Well, yeah, and I think so. The girl that was stood next to, rather, it wasn't a sit down gig. That'd be weird at a festival.
You were at the
Sit down gig
seated
in Prince.
ticket.
Maybe that was the problem. He was sat down,
I was
whatever.
just-
Like,
yeah.
your view was
Couldn't
impeded.
say
At the front.
thing, I was
You were at
really
the front, sat down.
So the girl that I was stood next to, at one point she turns to me, she goes, "Why aren't you singing?" And I was like, "Because I don't know the lyrics." She's like, "What?" I was like, "I'm not that big a Prince fan." And her face dropped, and I thought she might stab
Were you
me.
on a date with her or anything?
No.
Never
Did you go on your
admit-
own?
Never admit you're not a huge fan when you're at the gig of just.
I'm a man
Do you know how many
I'm a man of integrity.
gigs I've been to, I've had to pretend I'm a fan of the musician playing.
You've only been to Arctic Monkeys gigs, as far as I'm aware.
And there was this singer-songwriter I used to listen to who has to remain
Anonymous.
nameless at the moment. But
You-
all right, let's
so,
hear
yeah.
the bit. Let's listen to
So
it.
because this track lends itself more to like a putting a donk on it,
Yeah,
Callum's going to spit bars to the backing track rather than doing
Sure.
this on the piano.
looking
Here we
forward
go.
to it. Let's go.
If your body needs water, keep on dancing cause you ought to keep the blood flowing down to your feet. Brother Louis should be around in a minute with a bucket filled with squirreled meat.
Excuse me? With what?
What was that last line?
Squirreled meat?
Squirreled meat.
Squirrel
I
meat.
believe. Squirreled.
Brother Louis will be around in a minute with a bucket full of squirreled
filled
meat.
with squirreled meat.
Well,
I don't really know what to say about that. I mean,
well,
is
if
that-
it was squirrel meat,
yeah.
then
you
keep it in
say-
a bucket. I'd
Well,
keep my squirrel meat in a bucket.
That is the perfect receptacle
in
for
Barnsley,
squirreled
they
meat.
eat squirrel, don't they?
They do. And,
Didn't you have squirrel for your Christmas dinner this year? Well, every year.
well, we're not rich, Jim.
Oh, right, yeah.
We couldn't afford it this year.
Pigeons.
It's austerity and everything.
Yeah, cool, fair enough.
But yeah, and we would have served it in a bucket. But squirreled meat suggests
Squirreled
that it's
meat.
been saving. It's saved it from somewhere. It got this meat from a butcher's last autumn, dug it underground somewhere,
Oh, right.
and then came back, dug
Yeah,
it up,
maybe it has, yeah,
and then
it's
put
like
it in a bucket.
Buried it. Like
and
if
then,
squirrel buries his nuts, he's buried his meat.
yeah, that's
And
that's the
not a
verb.
euphemism.
It could be though, couldn't it?
It could be.
Oh, definitely. Meat that has been squirreled away.
I kind of envisage him throwing a steak into like a pen full of like really angry squirrels, and then just like tearing it up, and then it's kind of like minced beef but squirrels.
So that's the verbiage of squirrel that you're trying to use. Squirreled is processed by squirrels, rather than being something that squirrels do.
But rather than sort of squirrels,
because that's what you do in Leeds, isn't it? That's how you tenderize steak, is it? You just wang it into what is the receptacle that a load of squirrels, a bucket of squirrels.
Did you say wang it into a bucket?
Yeah,
that's great. I've never heard that.
You've never heard the word wang?
No, well, I've heard the word wang, but not in this context.
Wang with a G at the end.
Oh yeah. In the American context, wang is a penis, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's what they do in Leeds. They penis a bit of steak into a bucket. Load of squirrels tear at it, that tenderizer it, get it out.
Some steak. So they flop it on. I think it's getting into a strange area, actually.
Yeah, no, I was just alluding to the fact that wang means penis.
I know, I have heard it in that, yeah.
But I've never heard it in that context.
No.
Wang it into in the Yorkshire sense of it just means throw.
It creates a good sound.
It's
wang.
Imagine
it's
like
onomatopoeic almost, isn't it?
Imagine a baseball pitch, but like a reverse one that was coming across your body from the other side. That's a wang.
Like, do you wang a frisbee?
Yeah. You wang a frisbee.
Yeah. There you go.
Or a steak into a bucket of squirrels.
This is educational, certainly linguistically as well as
we're learning about areas of the country and
we are
various different...
All right, so we'll let squirreled meat slide.
Yeah,
let's crack on with the next part of the song.
Actually, it's on the lyric copy I have is Brother Lois.
Brother Lois.
Ooh.
Yeah, apparently.
Is Lois not...
Lois and Clark.
Is Lois not predominantly... I don't want to get all gender specific in today's day and age, but isn't Lois normally a woman's name?
It is.
Brother Lois?
I don't really sort of want to be restricted by gender norms.
But by saying brother, you're already restricted yourself, aren't you?
Am I, though? Because in a modern society, I don't really feel like I want to be restricted.
Fair enough.
Prince was ahead of his time when he was...
He was massively so. And he was famously bisexual.
Yeah.
Trisexual.
He mixes it up.
Yeah.
But it's, no.
But yeah, Brother Louis...
if anyone's worried, he's coming with some sort of miscellaneous meat in a bit, anything you want.
How's that been processed?
Well, it's a bit of sausage, maybe some steak, anything.
He found it buried under an acorn tree.
Oh, yeah. Cool. How's he going to deliver it? Is he going to just bring it in his hands
or
whatever?
Bucket.
In a bucket.
Makes sense. Cool.
It's classic.
Obviously.
Cheers, Brother Lewis.
Don't worry about it.
There are cats in it. Oh shit, there's other animals.
If you do too much, your skin will be sensitive to the touch. The first person that touches you, you wanna fuck. You take him to the crib and you tie him to a chair. Then you make funny faces till they get really scared. You turn on your neon, then you play with yourself till you turn them on.
Now, Callum, obviously Prince can get away with it, but I think anyone else singing that, you just sound like a sex offender.
Yeah, but the alternative is me doing it in my my sort of slightly heightened RP English accent, and it sounds
quite sexy.
How would that sound?
Well, we'll have a listen.
We'll riff on that soon.
I'd like to know. I just.
What would you like to know, Jim? Jim, you've got a lot of questions about
so many questions.
Just sex in general, don't you?
Maybe this is just sort of I lead a very sexually repressed life. You know, that's a possibility. But
so, which bit of it?
I thought we were mainly looking at the lyrics.
Specifically, do you think is not normal for sexual habits?
You know, you take someone to your crib. For anyone listening that's not sort of as
it's a baby's bed, isn't it?
Well, no. See, because I'm quite street, and in this sense, what it means is your house.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
You are quite street.
So you take someone to your house, and then you tie them to a chair.
Is that what's chair in slang?
That's just it's like a buffet.
Oh right. Okay.
In Yorkshire, it's a buffet.
Okay. Yeah.
So you tie them to a chair. So I mean, it's a bit weird, but okay, bit of kind of S&M. Tie someone to a chair as long as they're consenting adults and everyone's happy. Then all good. But then you make funny faces till they get really scared. What?
I don't really get scared by funny faces.
No.
I get more scared by scary faces.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's just going... But then,
But it's got to just be so... It's just doing it for so long that you get scared. It probably starts off hilarious and amusing, and then like 6 hours in, you're like, this is getting a bit scary now, Prince.
And I suppose it depends what he's wearing as well. Like if he's just sort of like in a suit and he's doing it, you'd be like, oh, come on, Prince, what are you doing? If he's like wearing crotchless leather chaps and nipple tassels, then you'd be like, hang on a minute, I didn't consent to this. This is...
Is it also alluding to the fact that this person is not scared they only get scared when he's pulling funny faces, not them being tied to the chair.
Yeah, they're tied to the chairs. It's cool.
It's just dropping the ocean.
It's like classic Prince, isn't it? Oh, here we go again. He's tying me to a chair. But then,
I haven't seen these faces before.
this is weird. But, oh God, that's funny.
They are hilarious, but
Yeah, but this whole scenario is a bit weird. Wait a minute. He's switched on the neon lights now. Oh, and he's playing with himself.
So many emotions, isn't there? Like there's funny, fear,
arousal.
Oh,
Some people might love that stuff. But
modern.
and then
I'd just be
you get turned on.
Yeah, I mean,
So
if I come round your house for Christmas, we finish the squirrel course.
Yeah.
Your dad takes me in the living room, ties me to a chair, starts doing a lot of funny faces.
As usual, yeah.
Pops on the neon.
Barnsley hello, we call that.
Pops on the neon.
Brother
lights
Lois is watching the whole
Yeah,
thing.
Brother Lois.
Brother Lois, with squirrel's
Just
meat.
eating
He stood
raw
by the door,
squirreled meat out of the bucket.
And then he starts playing with him, Sam.
Until you turn on. Again,
Until I'm turned on.
Again, I think it's sort of like if someone does something long enough, you get used to it. And then at some point further on, your mind starts wandering and then you get turned on.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were sat in the corner playing with yourself, at first I'd be like, this is
weird.
freaky and weird.
Yeah.
And then after I realised that you're not actually causing me any danger, I'd just be like, start thinking about other things, have a little sleep, wake up in the morning with a bit of, morning arousal.
It's funny because...
And then that's when you come in.
That's when I come in. That's the very reason that I kind of spend a lot of time in this sort of soundproofed room.
Right.
Is because so people don't have to start feeling weird when I sort of turn on the neon and get
Start playing with
freaky.
yourself, yeah.
Well, it'd be nice if you could just loosen the things that we tied down with, Jim. Just give us a little chance.
Some plastic red handcuffs. But yeah, I mean, that's what in a kind of maybe a modern age would be called pulling a Harvey.
Harvey who? Harvey.
No, but I don't know. It's just what the kids are saying on the street. But I think Prince can get away with it. He can do what he
Well,
wants.
he's dead now, isn't he? I mean,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can get away with anything when you're dead, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Jimmy Savile. Case in point.
if Prince were to do that now, it'd be just like a miracle. So it wouldn't matter if it was being like sexually abusive and like someone is reanimated from the dead. You know, step one, let's discuss that, rather than step two, the fact that what he's done when he's reanimated from the dead is start being really sexually weird, which he was during his life anyway.
He was pretty, But
I think even if Harvey like died and then came back and started, being a little bit abusive, that people would be more concerned with the way that he'd come back to life than they would be with.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. They're like, wow,
abuse.
miraculous.
And in fact, if Harvey is out there listening, it's like a way to get away with this is to die and then be reanimated, because then people won't be so like focused on the second most famous thing that you've done.
Take the attention away. So Prince, whilst I salute you, and I'm not the biggest fan, and appreciate you.
I'm more of a fan now that I've listened to that, because I feel more of affinity towards him.
Because you're like, oh wow, I'm not the only one that's into that weird shit.
Well, no, I'm more like, this has happened to other people as well as happening to me with Jim.
It's not just my dad that does this at Christmas.
To Jim.
Wow.
Superfunkycalifragisexy. All right, now super. No, that's too soon.
Too soon. It's now.
Fine, that's fine.
Wait. Superfunkycalifragisexy. Yeah.
No, well, that brings us to the end of this podcast, doesn't it?
End of the show.
Is it finished already? I was
think
having
we-
so much fun.
Well, we can do another one. Well, next week, I mean.
Anyway, so that's the end of the show.
If people want to get in touch with us to tell us the
How do
songs
they do
to
that?
How do they? Well, you tell me.
How do they do that? Well, you could call Jim's mobile number. No, you can get in touch with us on our website, which is www.JimBob's
Two W's, yeah.
www.
www.
You sound some weird
No,
World Web.
just wide web.
Just wide web.
I just think limiting it to the world is a bit.
Okay.
It's not. Why? Why limit it to the world? www.JimBob'sMusicMassacre.com.
Okay, excellent. What about social media? Are we active on social media at all?
We are. You can visit our Facebook page, which is JimBob's Music Massacre, or you could find us on Twitter, where JimBob's Music Massacre. We could get the full length of that.
We could.
On Twitter, but on Instagram, no.
So we're on Instagram?
Yeah,
We are. What are we on Instagram?
either JimBob's Music or JimBob's Music Massacre.
Okay,
So, if there is someone out there,
maybe before we do the next podcast, we should just double check what we're at and where we're at.
exactly.
Hey, look.
Thanks for listening.
So yeah, if anyone's got any mixed metaphoids, pedantoids, typhoid,
or has any suggestions for songs that we could do,
Any
please.
terrible disease
'Cause
whatsoever.
I think what's been very clear is that I'm going to just lay it on the line. I want to do as little prep as possible for this. So if other people can feed us songs to do, that'd be great. Bob's going to prep it, and don't worry, there'll be an element of professionalism to it, but it's only on my part.
Jim's an important man.
I'm in here for the beer. Right. That's it.
Cut.
Let's go.
Done.
Sweet.